Overpowered reborn protagonists are carrying Isekai right now. So today we're ranking 15 anime where the main character respawns, snaps the power scale in half, and leaves entire fantasy worlds questioning their life choices. Kicking things off with number 15, The New Gate. If you like your overpowered protagonists calm, composed, and permanently 10 steps ahead, The New Gate scratches that itch hard. Shin clears a deadly VRMO, expects credits, and instead wakes up hundreds of years later inside the actual game world. Awkward. The fun part is watching everyone treat him like a legendary myth while he's just trying to buy groceries without accidentally intimidating an entire town. His strength is absurd, but it's quiet absurdity. No screaming power-ups, just instant problem deletion. The villains barely get time to finish monologuing before Shin reminds them what endgame gear looks like. It's not flashy like modern isekai, but that slow burn dominance feels earned. Think SAO if Kirito had zero angst and maxed wisdom stats. It's comfy, controlled, and weirdly satisfying watching an MC who never panics, because why would he? Sliding to number 14, Tsukimichi, Moonlit Fantasy Season 2. Makoto Masumi remains the patron saint of unfair reincarnation. Tossed into another world, rejected by the goddess for being ugly, and immediately given powers that could flatten continents. Season 2 doubles down on the chaos. Makoto's deadpan reactions to insanity are half the entertainment. Dragons become roommates, elite warriors become interns, and entire armies exist purely to demonstrate why fighting him is a terrible idea. What really sells Tsukimichi is the comedy rhythm. 1 second it's wholesome slice of life, the next he's casually wiping out threats meant for heroes. The world keeps underestimating him, and the show keeps punishing that mistake. It's smug, self-aware, and never forgets that being overpowered is funniest when the MC treats godlike strength like an inconvenience. Landing on number 13, Remonster. Remonster is not here to be polite. Our protagonist reincarnates as a goblin and immediately speedruns evolution like he's exploiting a broken skill tree. Eat something, gain its abilities. Eat everything, become unstoppable. The power scaling is ridiculous, and the morality is complicated. This is one of those anime where you'll catch yourself saying, I shouldn't be rooting for this guy, while absolutely rooting for him. The appeal lies in watching survival instincts turn into domination. Every arc escalates fast, and the MC's growth feels feral and ruthless. It's less heroic fantasy and more Monster Empire Simulator. Not everyone will vibe with its edge, but if you like your isekai raw, unapologetic, and powered by evolutionary chaos, Remonster delivers in uncomfortable but compelling ways. Looking at number 12, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 3. Rimuru Tempest is proof that kindness plus god-tier abilities is still terrifying. Season 3 leans heavier into politics, warfare, and the consequences of being the strongest entity in the room. Rimuru doesn't just win fights, he redesigns entire civilizations. The scary part is how reasonable he sounds doing it. One moment he's cracking jokes, the next he's negotiating with demon lords like it's a board meeting. The show balances wholesomeness and domination better than almost any isekai. Everyone underestimates the slime. Everyone regrets it. Season 3 solidifies Rimuru as less of a lucky reincarnation and more of a calculated ruler. It's less, watch me fight, and more, watch me outthink, outmaneuver, and outgrow everyone. Cracking into number 11, Mushoku Tensei Season 2, Part 2. Rudeus Greyrat isn't overpowered in the flashy sense. He's overpowered because he's prepared. Season 2, Part 2 pushes emotional weight harder, but don't get it twisted. Rudeus is still terrifying when he locks in. His magic control, tactical thinking, and sheer versatility make fights feel earned rather than free. What separates Mushoku Tensei is consequence. Power doesn't erase trauma, and growth isn't instant. That makes his victories hit harder. When Rudeus dominates, it feels deserved, not handed out. You may argue with his choices, but you can't deny his progression is one of isekai's most layered power climbs. It's messy, uncomfortable, and unforgettable. Powering up at number 10, Arifureta Season 3. Hajime Nagumo is what happens when betrayal turns into a personality trait. Season 3 embraces his I don't care anymore energy fully. Guns in a fantasy world? Sure. Crushing enemies without blinking? Absolutely. Hajime doesn't just overpower villains, he humiliates them. The edgelord vibes are strong, but that's part of the appeal. the world breaks its own rules trying to catch up to him. Watching former classmates realize they're background characters in his story never gets old. It's not subtle, it's not deep, but it knows exactly what it is. A revenge-fueled power fantasy with zero apologies. Charging into number 9, the wrong way to use healing magic. This anime wins purely by concept. Healing magic is supposed to be supportive. This MC uses it like a weaponized gym membership. He heals faster than damage can register, turning training into torture for himself and fear for everyone else. The overpowered element sneaks up on you. He doesn't nuke cities, he outlasts everything. Fights become endurance nightmares for his enemies. The humor carries the show, especially watching mentors realize they created a monster by accident. It's refreshing, weird, and proof that even weak abilities become broken when logic is applied aggressively. Rolling up number 8, Reborn as a Vending Machine Season 2. Yes, a vending machine. And somehow, still overpowered. Season 2 leans fully into the absurdity while expanding the MC's influence. He can't move, can't talk normally, and yet becomes essential to survival in dangerous dungeons. His power isn't brute force, it's utility dominance. Everyone depends on him. Watching enemies get outplayed by snacks and strategy is endlessly entertaining. The show understands its joke and commits fully. You come for the meme, stay because it's surprisingly smart about resource management and teamwork. This anime has no right being this engaging. That's why it works. Entering number 7, the Eminence in Shadow movie. Sid Kagenu operates on a different plane of existence. The movie amplifies everything fans love. Misunderstanding-driven domination, accidental masterminding, and combat so one-sided it borders on parody. Sid thinks he's role-playing. The world thinks he's a god. The gap between perception and reality is comedy gold. Fight scenes are pure flex, with Sid casually dismantling threats meant to end civilizations. The movie format lets the spectacle breathe, and every shadowy monologue lands harder. If you enjoy overpowered MCs who don't even realize they're the main character, this is peak entertainment. Storming number 6, I was reincarnated as the 7th prince. This kid is terrifying. Reincarnated into royalty with one obsession, mastering magic, the 7th prince ignores politics, status, and common sense. His enthusiasm for spellcraft turns him into a walking magical disaster. Adults panic. Enemies evaporate. The joy comes from watching a child treat forbidden magic like a science fair project. There's no struggle, just curiosity-fueled destruction. The animation sells the power beautifully, and the tone stays playful even when things get insane. It's overpowered innocence taken to dangerous extremes. Smashing into number 5, Failure Frame. Betrayed, discarded, and labeled weak, this MC flips the script using low-level spells that are anything but. Paralysis, poison, instant death. Simple effects, devastating execution. The show thrives on spite-fueled progression. Watching arrogant heroes crumble because they ignored utility abilities is deeply satisfying. The MC isn't flashy, he's efficient. Every encounter feels like a lesson in underestimation. The darker tone sets it apart, making victories feel cold and deliberate. This is revenge isekai done with precision instead of noise. Breaking through number 4? The Strongest Tank's Labyrinth Raid's defense builds rarely get love, but this anime makes tanking terrifying. The MC's durability is so absurd that enemies physically can't hurt him. Watching attacks bounce off like inconveniences flips typical combat logic. He doesn't rush fights, he outlasts them. The Labyrinth setting emphasizes endurance, strategy, and sheer refusal to fall. It's satisfying in a different way, watching opponents exhaust themselves against an immovable wall. Quietly overpowered, methodical, and oddly calming. But trust me, number 3 will mess with your head in the best way possible. Chillin' in another world with level 2 super cheat powers. This anime lulls you into comfort before reminding you the MC is fundamentally broken. He just wants a peaceful life, and the universe keeps throwing threats at him like a stress test. His power activates almost casually, deleting problems without disrupting the vibe. The contrast between slice-of-life warmth and overwhelming strength is what hooks you. It's cozy domination. Every time he steps in, it's with a smile and immediate victory. This is isekai comfort food with cheat codes permanently enabled. Climbing to number 2, The World's Finest Assassin Season 2. Lug isn't loud about his power. He's surgical. Season 2 expands his political influence, intelligence networks, and lethal precision. Every plan unfolds like a chess match rigged in his favor. The overpowered aspect comes from preparation, not explosions. When violence happens, it's decisive and final. Watching enemies realize they were dead before the fight started is chilling. It's a power fantasy for people who enjoy strategy over spectacle, and it executes that niche perfectly. Claiming number 1, Overlord, the Sacred Kingdom arc. Ain's Owal Gown isn't just overpowered, he's inevitable. This arc showcases what happens when a god-level being interferes with human conflict. There's no tension about whether he'll win, only how devastating the outcome will be. The moral ambiguity, political fallout, and sheer scale of destruction make this peak isekai dominance. Ain's doesn't fight heroes, he rewrites history. Every appearance carries weight, and every decision reshapes the world. This isn't power fantasy, this is power realized. And that's our countdown of ridiculously overpowered reborn protagonists bending entire worlds to their will. If your favorite dominated the list or got robbed, let me know in the comments. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more anime chaos, and I'll catch you in the next